Yeah.
So we did have some questions. Some of them were very specific to a site, but I think there are definitely, even in that, there's some things worth talking about. So one question that came up was we had a gentleman who had his garden was about 90% sand and 10% other. And so he was asking what to do. So I said, no matter what the type of soil you have, you're adding compost. Get that organic matter in there to stimulate the biology in there so that we can improve the structure. And then, especially with sandy soil, you've got to plant. So plant, plant, plant. And then I wasn't quite sure where he lived, whether or not he lived by the ocean, which was why there was the sandy soil. And if that's the case, then your plant palette, you might need to be looking at plants that are perhaps a little bit more tolerant of saltier conditions or coastal conditions. But I didn't get that information. If there's anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, I think what you said is exactly right. It's looking at the four principles, right? It's one, making sure that you have that spongy soil, which the only way to do that is with compost, planting densely, covering with mulch, really focusing on the soil, selecting plants that are appropriate, for that particular place, and then using the irrigation that applies the water as slowly as possible so that the water is going to take its time going through the soil profile. That is really an excellent place for drip, because every place is an excellent place for drip, unless you have a really vast area. But those things need to work in combination. It's not a single button. It is landscapes are systems. And if we're going to use irrigation, we need to have everything in place in order to make that irrigation as efficient as possible. The equipment and also the application, like climate ready comes from, operating all the levers, not just one.
Yes. So a few more questions for those of you that want to stay. Otherwise, the questions will be recorded as well, and the answers, obviously. So you're welcome to, listen to it afterwards. I did get something in the chat that it was hard to ask questions. Wow, there was so much information. So
Right. Understand.
yes. So let's see. We will be sending you in the resources that you're going to get where you can go to get some professionals to help you because yes, this is overwhelming. And even if you're not going to do the work yourself, it's really helpful to understand. Because that way, when contractors start telling you they want to do this or they want to do that, then at least you're going to feel a little bit more comfortable with the vocabulary, with what they're talking about. You can ask questions that are perhaps a little bit more intelligent, or more not intelligent, but a little bit more,
Informed.
yeah. So yeah, so glad you came, glad you stayed.
And how many times have we seen smart irrigation controllers, as an example, installed into landscapes? The people are given, a one sheet. This is how it works. Here's go online to learn more. And and there's all these questions about, well, what kind of plants do you have? What kind of slope do you have? What kind of, what kind of soil? All of the things that we just talked about, you're going to be asked about, even with especially with a smart irrigation controller. And then your irrigation is kind of going on and going off. You don't even know, why.
Right.
How do you ask the questions if you don't have the fundamental understanding of why the plants are using the water when they are, and how the irrigation system even works? So, yes. So, we in the guidebook and in the resources that will be available to you online in the online website, there will be information about materials for putting together a drip irrigation system and
Yeah.
converting a spray irrigation system to drip. So that is available. And we're also going to send you links to our professionally trained, or our professionals who have been trained by G3. We have a certification called the Watershed Wise Landscape Professional. It is an EPA certification. It is irrigation, yes, and also the other elements of the watershed approach. So capturing rainwater, building healthy soil, and selecting climate appropriate plants included, as well as good irrigation principles. And you'll get a link to the website where you can search for professionals and hire them, or at least now you know questions to ask, and you can send professionals to our workshops so that they can be trained. We would love that. We want as many people as possible understanding how to do all this stuff.
Yep.
And how do you get certified? It just so happens that we have a professional certification workshop happening in Southern California in October, the beginning of October. I want to say the 8th and 9th. Is that correct?
Yeah, 8th and 9th,
Oh,
absolutely.
the 8th and 9th in Downey. It's great because it's funded by, supported by, or subsidized, that was the word I was looking for, by SoCal Gas. And so it is a $75 registration fee. It's a 2-day workshop, full 2 days. The exam is included at the same time. But you can also go to the same website where you're going to go to watch this video again, and make your way through these courses, these climate ready landscape courses. There is also a link to taking it online, completely asynchronistic. So you can do it either way, in person, live, or entirely online. That's how you get certified. And you can also, by taking all 6 of the Climate Ready Landscape Academy workshops, get certified in the Climate Ready Landscape work, which is more for the general public, but it is the same caliber of content that we are delivering to the professionals. So that was our goal here, was to create a workshop series that allowed us to have professionals and general public together, so that we raise the understanding, for everybody speaking the same language and achieving the same objectives.
Yes. So again, the question about materials, we'll be sending you a link to a manufacturer that actually has a great presentation on all the materials you need, and then step by step on how you actually install drip irrigation. So that's a great place to start. And
Indeed.
maybe we need to do a drip class next time.
Yeah, maybe the next class is just drip, just drip.
Just drip. So yeah, I think with that,
Oh,
I
fantastic.
don't know if
We're
there's
really
anything we
glad.
missed.
Yep, there are, you'll get a link to be able to register for that class. Yeah, it's a great value, I have to admit. SoCal Gas has been a wonderful partner.
Yeah.
Amazing food, and just 2 full days of how to make a climate ready landscape.
Yep. So with that, thank you so much for joining us on a Monday evening. And it seems like people, thank you. This is heaven.
Oh, thank
It is
you.
definitely our great pleasure. We'll also be sending out the survey again. So if you didn't have a chance to finish it, then we would really, really love your feedback, and have a great evening.